Born in Cairo, Egypt, grew up in New York City, and a U.S. Navy veteran. Omar Abdel Rahim shares his key insights on serving the government marketplace. Correspondent Wyndham Abdul has his story.
Omar, tell us about your military experience.
I served in the Navy, U.S. Navy, and I served for 6 years, and I served on board 4 different aircraft carriers. My main job was avionics, and so avionics was aircraft radar, specifically towards jet fighters.
In making the transition from the military to business, how was that?
Where I learned business is I got involved, actually I got a job with Canon, and I was fortunate enough to have some really good mentors there, and they really taught me. I mean, I learned business there because I didn't go to school for it. I read books, but when I got there, I really learned like real business, and that's how I learned.
How does your military background play a role in your business? How is it an asset?
In the military, the one thing that they really teach you really solid is discipline, commitment, honor. These are very critical because the person that's going to do business with you, they want to be able to trust you, know that you're committed, and know that you're disciplined. Like you're gonna do a good job for me. So that's critical. So that's right there. I thank the military for that tremendously. How does it help me? When I go out and I meet with customers, you know, I always say, hey man, you know, I strike up a conversation about the military. And you'd be surprised, there's a lot of government officials that did serve in the military. And usually it's a common ground, it's an icebreaker. It depends to lead to other conversations. And then all of a sudden, once they see that you've served the country, it's a little different conversation. So that's how I've been able to utilize it. I think some of the challenges that maybe veterans may face is you know, marketing and sales, because you're really not taught that in the military, and I think that's essential. I think you need to be able to market and sell yourself and your product or your service.
Tell us a little bit about A to Z. What does A to Z offer in the marketplace?
So basically what we do is we go in and we identify organizational challenges and we help them achieve their mission. And it could come in many different ways. You know, it could be technology, it could be consultation, it could be construction, it could be procurement. So there's many different ways. But we basically, we help facilitate the operation of organizations in the federal government.
You spoke about how important it is that veteran-owned businesses mentor other veteran-owned businesses. Mm-hmm. Why is that important?
That is actually very critical in my opinion. That is one thing I think that we really need to build on that and build from it. Because I think once someone sees something done, then they get it. You know, because you could sit down and explain the theory behind it, but until you actually do it, then you see how it's done. As an example, you're a do-it-yourselfer at home, you read the instructions, says, well, do it, and all of a sudden, you try to do it. But then all of a sudden you see a video, right, on YouTube, exactly how to do the same thing, but now the video was so much easier to learn from, right? So we're very visual learners. So from that regard, I think it's really, really critical that we do more mentoring for our future veteran entrepreneurs, take them under our wings, and just show them the ropes on how the business happens.
How important is focus?
You gotta have focus. The government is huge. And if you focus in on specific areas of the government that do what you're selling, then your chances of success are a lot greater. And so focus is extremely critical. And even focus to the extent of focusing on the transaction. Once you start a transaction, you develop something that you focus and see it all the way through till you capture the business and deliver. Focus is extremely critical.